Starting the stream in 3, 2, 1. Good. That's good.
Oh, some delay with you as well, am I, Stuart? Oh dear. Echo.
Yes.
Echo.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
No, Captain Foley. Come on now.
That's good though. Just about the Simpsons. You just Simpsonsed it up. But that's good. That's good. I miss Dr. Riviera.
3, 2, 1. Good. That's good. Yes.
Oh, some delay with you as well.
Yes.
Speaking of echo, we're now actually echoing. But yes, hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. Talking about an interesting topic today. I mean, we thought we'd do something fun. And we called the characters we need to see in the Picard show. And everybody's flipping out on our comments for when I shared it on Facebook.
Just a nice chill discussion of who we think not just want to see, should be seen, and everyone has
or who
thoughts.
would work, or some good storylines around certain characters. I mean, we can come up with a bunch of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, because now we know the framing narrative of where Picard is. Before that, we didn't know where he was, so we couldn't say. But now we have an actual contextual sense. So now we have who he might know, or might be back, or might be around, or blah blah blah. But yes, how's the chat doing today?
Good. We've got 30 people right now, but
72 are mine.
Okay, well, mine needs to update then. It still says 30.
Brian Kenderson says, "Why is it every time you go live, a commercial comes on?" Because that's how lives work, and it's the step process.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be every time. Sometimes it should just jump right into it.
Well, I get it most times.
I do too, but sometimes when I watch like another live stream, it just goes straight into it. So
I'm gonna start sharing. So you talk to our lovely audience and wait for them all to tune in and say hi.
Hi, everybody. So yeah, we're gonna have an interesting discussion today, and glad you guys could join us. If you know anybody that might be interested in this, a good thing to do is share this video. We'd like to get more people on here if possible, people that might be interested in the Picard series discussion, because we have got quite a bit of interesting feedback on the comments from Facebook and even in here already about some good ideas that you guys have. And one of the best ways to get your ideas to us, so we see them, is to super chat. Super chats not only help the channel, but they help get your voice heard and read on air by us. Either a comment or a question, whatever you have, you can put in a super chat. Separate chat window for the super chats and the regular window. And we got our moderators in there engaging with you guys. You guys are having good conversations, but sometimes we miss things in there that other people might be interested in hearing. So also there's a lot of cool links and descriptions down in the description section of the video, all our videos actually. It takes us to our Teespring store where you can buy some cool Trekyards merchandise. There's our Patreon link. You can help us on a monthly basis that way. He took his earphones out so he can't hear what I'm saying right now, so we can make fun of him. Samuel was tardy. He was late, but that's okay. We still love him. But yeah, and you can also head on over to Patreon to help us on a monthly basis, or head on over to Trekyards at trekyards.com. Click the donate button. That goes into our PayPal. All the PayPal information is down below too. If you don't want to super chat, if you just want to send us money via PayPal, we get more of the money because YouTube takes 30% right off the top. So a good way to do it is PayPal. That helps us out quite a bit. So that's another option. Just mention it in the chat that you did that. We will check it and then read your comment or question from the PayPal email. So Keith Jeffrey, 1974, puts in £2. Worf, just for Picard to deny him. Should be a really dramatic scene. Worf steps on the bridge. Captain, may I suggest? Not now, Worf. Or no. It's funny because right beside my desk here, I got these two guys.
Oh, that's the
Wow. This is the QMX, and this is the McFarlane Toys.
It's a good Worf.
It's an amazing Worf, yeah. And the McFarlane Toys Picard is good too. Really good detail.
Doesn't quite look like him though, but it is hard to do.
It looks like a younger him, yeah.
Yeah. It looks like younger than he ever was in the show, but still him. Like
It
in
looks
that
like him from Excalibur, that kind of Picard.
Excalibur. Oh right,
He was,
yeah.
he was in the movie
Patrick
Excalibur.
Stewart.
Yes.
What episode called Excalibur? I was very
No.
confused by that.
Yes.
Uh,
This happens often.
so, do you want me to throw a character possibility at you first, or talk about the super chats?
We'll read the super chats first.
Okie doke, because I have some pictures of a whole lot of cast from different shows, and obviously anybody will be interesting, but I want to have sort of focused discussions of who needs to be in it, and some of these probably do, some of these maybe don't, and maybe some Stuart thinks yes, I don't think, or vice versa. I've got quite a plethora of people here, and some reasons that you probably hadn't even realised why they need to be in the Picard show.
Okay, well, that'll be interesting to talk about for sure. But
Thank
in
you.
the meantime, let's get into this super chat because there's been quite a few all of a sudden, which is good. It's good. Joseph Petrick puts in €2.
Hey.
Bella, Edward, and Jacob. Who else? Hi, Trekyards. Yes, put them all in. Are you Team Bella, or are you Team Edward or Team Jacob? I think that was a thing back in the day.
It was. Both are dumb in their own ways. But Jacob's a nicer person, but also a creep, and Edward is a creep.
But he's going to be Batman, maybe.
Oh, well, he is. He is Batman.
Well, have they confirmed it? It wasn't 100% confirmed last I heard.
Yeah. Well, it was the announcement. I mean, that was...
I know, but I still heard that there was between him and somebody else for the final. But anyway.
Ooh, that's weird then to announce it.
Jason puts in $2.
They...
Original cast said nobody was asked back. Lying? Yeah, probably. They get told to say things on the red carpets and stuff leading up to things all the time. And then later they're like, yep, I was kind of obligated to say that.
Well, J.J. Abrams said he wasn't Khan. So you can lie in the promotion of a film. I mean, I'm sure every time Benedict Cumberbatch was asked, so who's John Harrison? Well, John Harrison, a rich backstory. It's like, and he's just making stuff up. So yeah, they can lie. I mean, it's very likely that someone will be in it. Although at this point, it's more just I think the budget won't necessarily, because if the series is really successful, then kind of just like Discovery Season 2, you bring back fan favourites and do them right. You earn your footing with Season 1, Season 2, because I mean they should all still be alive by Season 2. I mean I think that's fair to say none of them are at that risk,
Well, depending what happened with this rescue mission, maybe his whole crew got annihilated.
I mean the real people, but this is true. Wow, that'd be depressing.
Oh, the actors.
Gotcha. Yeah. So waiting a year and having many in Season 2 would be have some sense of connection with Discovery Season 2, but again, no connection with Discovery is the best thing possible.
Yeah. Yeah. So yes, the truth is they could be lying and likely are, just to keep everything under wraps. So, Joe Wright puts in $2. We need to see Picard's crystal again. LOL. Yes, maybe it's become sentient. It's like his little pet now. It follows him around.
Don't get the reference.
Little crystal on his desk that he always played with.
Oh yes.
They even sold it at Roddenberry.com. You could buy one.
Was it the one?
No, it's a replica of the one.
Oh.
Because there's only one. There can be only one.
Everyone thought they got the one.
And speaking of one, no one special, or number one special, puts in $2. Miss Naked Now Live. How much to get Sam shirtless?
I think it was. Oh no, it was $200 to not do the live. On
the next one,
Code of Honor. I think it was like $50, but I think 50 is a flash. I'll be honest.
Yeah. And you can go back and watch the Naked Now review. It was still a good review. You can't watch it live. That's all. I mean, it'll be live for you because you'll be alive, hopefully.
Yes.
I always thought, when I was younger, I always thought filmed in front of a live audience was stupid because I'm like, well, of course they're live. They're not dead. I didn't get what a live audience meant when I was a kid because I'm stupid. But anyway.
I mean, you are right. It's not like you're wrong.
I am right.
It's just it's a different context.
It was
that
kid
word.
logic.
Well, yeah. There's so many words that. Well, the only reason they mean what they mean is because we say they mean what they mean. I mean, that is obviously all words, but something tells two things that it's like, why does it mean two things? It's like, it does.
Reeve Law, one or I band rock Rocked YouTube. Great name.
Well done.
Puts in €2.
Thank you.
Frakes is on the set. No cameo would be a waste. Absolutely. See, I believe there's stuff going on that they're not telling us. Like even Marina Sirtis said, "Oh, nobody's been asked." They're keeping it very tight-lipped, but I don't believe anything she says.
Well, it's because I was at Destination, and obviously the TNG panel, DS9 panel, people are asked, "So you're in the Picard show?" And they're like, "Have you been asked?" "Oh, I haven't been asked." I mean, Marina's obviously really flamboyant about it. "Oh, I would love to be asked, but I think Worf, me and you should have a series." And she goes on this whole tirade, and it's just like,
just to throw off the original question.
Because if you were asked, you told, you not get fired, but you get fined. Like, you can lose a lot of money because it's in your contract not to say anything. If it's a secret for a show that is coming. I mean, this, I mean, if you recall, David Prowse, who played Darth Vader in the first 2, 3, I think he did all 3, he revealed at a convention in England that Darth Vader was Luke's father. It came out, it was like almost coming out in America, but there's a delay in the UK, but the newspaper managed to make it get across the pond, and then George Lucas sort of refused him from, well, I guess still refusing him from conventions, from big events, from, being any other movie, being any premiere, basically a lifelong ban for saying it one time. I mean, that was the spoiler, but he spoiled the big reveal, and he got blacklisted forever. So... And he was, the guy that played Darth Vader. So
yeah, physically, yeah.
But
yeah.
Yes. So
going back to the live audience thing for a second.
Oh.
That's something else for you guys to think about. You ever love when it says in the little fine print on the bottom, these are real people, not actors? Are actors not real people?
No.
No? You can't believe a thing an actor does or says? Because they're actors, they're not real people. They're artificially created people that can act.
I mean, yeah. I have a side question though, and it's actually from Snowman, Snowman Frost. They can still be original characters, but not the original actors. How do you feel about recasting people? I'm not sure who he would refer to in that context, but recasting people.
Well, I'm thinking they're talking about Data specifically, uploading us into somebody else. You answer that while I'll be right back.
Okay. I mean, we know that, Brent, the Data can age, and obviously did look older throughout the show, but as Stuart said before, if he wants to grow older with his fellows and not, his families, he could probably change his, proteins in his in his systems to make himself look older, just to be on par with them. I don't think that's a big issue, and Brent is the only one that could play that role properly, and it'd be a cop out to put his brain in someone else, because part of Data is also his physical body. You'd have to make a brand new body, and only Soong can build those bodies. So Neil's saying that there's a new guy that can build Soong type robots. Well, then you've just made Data not special anymore. The point.
Well, he wouldn't be at that point. I can see somebody being able to build androids like him at this point in the timeline, because you had the dude from Data's Day that was, or not Data's Day, from Measure of the Man, that Data was conversing with. He wanted to create new androids. So I can see and there's supposed to be some of the leaked cast information said there's a positronic expert on board or whatever. Don't know how much I believe of that, but
it would certainly be a way of pushing us into the future if the idea of, because I know obviously they've got pretty much androids, pretty much all that crap in Discovery, irrelevant of the timeline, but this is now a point where you can have artificial life forms, or like, what if holograms that have become sentient get android bodies? So you can't make sentient androids because that's not good, but you can give out sentient bodies, android sentient holograms.
So maybe the Doctor, Robert Picardo, is now a physical android body.
Because that would be an interesting way of getting around that. But I was saying that Data could age if you choose to. I mean, this is his family. Even if he has to get old for 100 years and then choose to be young looking again. So no one else could play the same Data, and I'd rather not see Data again than see a different actor play him, or just Data's son. He managed to make a new android. It's very similar to Data, but at that point, you're just doing it for the gimmick's sake. It's either Data, Brent Spiner, or it's not Data. Don't use him.
Yes, somebody had mentioned earlier in one of our Facebook comments about, well, why not just upload Data into the computer of the Enterprise E? and have it transferred from ship to ship or whatever, as like, and I thought that was a stupid idea, because then it's like HAL. It's like HAL 9000.
Well, and also I'm pretty sure again, Data is more than just his brain. It's his body. It's his experience. Yeah. Obviously, yes, he was transferred into lore theoretically, and that's in the Countdown comic, and it took over the personality, got a second body, although an older body, fine. Mm-hmm. But Data, if Data wanted to be in a ship's computer, he could have done that years ago. He wants to be human, not someone in a ship's computer. It would be antithetical to his entire purpose. It's more likely that if you were to go anywhere with Data, you would have him, just like Bicentennial Man, at this point in the time, although again, this is before Endgame and it's after all the things, luckily, but it's before Endgame. You have Data slowly swapping out his body for, he worked out a way of hybridizing organic, and, the Borg did it for him. He managed to reverse engineer, so now he's got a human face, still the same eyes, and he's aging. He's still got an internal, like basically Bicentennial Man. That would be a fun way of, he's not human, but he looks human. He has sensory touch, and he's aging. Boom, you've now got Data, and the makeup doesn't need to look crap, because in the sense that his wrinkles, in Nemesis he looked worse with the wrinkles. That's just what happened. That'd be a good way of having him be Brent Spiner acting Data, not in makeup. You just have to make his hair look neat. Maybe keep his hair nice and dyed, so it keeps a slight context. Because why have grey hair? Again, that would be a choice. Wrinkles are less of a choice, I'd assume, because it's still the skin is like, I don't know. Because wrinkles give you age distinction. I don't know. That's my thoughts.
Yeah. Austin Vieira puts in $5 Canadian. Love the channel. Wondering if you guys think anyone from the other series would fit well into the series with a cameo. I think that'd be a great kind of twist on what we've been talking about, is to have somebody from Voyager or Deep Space Nine come back for a role as their character. I think it'd be perfectly acceptable, and I would actually love that. I love crossover things, and that would be kind of nice, actually.
And they're all still alive, and they all are obviously 20 years older, so it fits in perfectly. Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit, but yes, many of them should be.
I would like to see Captain Kim. I would like to see Harry Kim as a captain, finally. Or it would be or as I said earlier, it'd be funny to have him be a lieutenant commander or
junior grade.
Lieutenant junior grade. That's it. Yeah.
Hey, but he got there. He got there. Just took him a little while.
Yeah. Joseph Patrick puts in €2. Thank you. Never got the fire at will coming from Riker. I know. Can you imagine having the name Will and being like, fire at will? No, don't shoot.
Oh.
Not me, you idiot. Him.
Yeah. I like that scene. It's a dumb scene, but I like that scene. And for the time, it's actually pretty damn good. It's just split screen, but it's actually pretty well done. Anyway, sorry. Yes.
Super Coops puts in £2. Anyone from TNG, DS9, or Voyager, but not Kess. Well, yeah, no, not Kess. That would not be fine with that.
And the actress has gone a bit insane, so they wouldn't hire her. And she's not a working actor anyway. The thing is, you kind of like the Kess energy being, like a secret. Like if they're doing a Voyager movie, have Kess put transmission in the computer, be like, Neelix's like, what is this? Oh my god, the secret to hypertranswarp. Thanks, Kess, my ex-love. Oops. Now I've got a wife and kids. Oops. Orcs. Awkward.
Kess. Yes. Chris Jackson puts in $2. Based on the Countdown comic, Data needs to be in it. If you consider the Countdown comic legit canon, a lot of people don't, and a lot of people have not read the comic or know what the comic entails. So for the general audience, that really doesn't matter, unfortunately.
Well, that's the thing. The 09 was a hugely flawed movie, and people, the backstory of the villain was zero. Pretty much. There's nothing. It's crap, and there's so little to that. Because in the comic, if you have to enjoy a film by reading separate material, that's a flaw of the film. Now, you can enhance a film with extra stuff, like the Undiscovered Country novel. That's a great novel. The extra stuff is awesome. You still understand the film. That's how it should be. So the same with Force Awakens. They answer a few questions. I haven't read it, but I hear it answer a lot of the questions. So that's a flaw of the film. And so if you need to read Countdown to understand, that's a bad. But again, it's Alex Kurtzman. He's not the best of writer, producer, director, thinker. But that's meant to be canon for the JJ universe. Like they've called out that's canon for us. but it doesn't necessarily mean it, because they are still licensee canon-y things. You could still be fine and say, yeah, it's canon to their slither of the universe, which is now dead. They've officially cancelled Star Trek 4. Officially cancelled. Hey, end on a high note. At least we got that.
Yeah. Magna Knight 2 puts in $5.
Thank you.
I really hope they address the status of the Federation after the Dominion War. Oh, I'm sure they will. I mean, that's the key to what's going on in this whole story. We're going to have the repercussions of all of that. And maybe that directly ties in the Dominion War with this rescue mission that Picard was on as well. So
I mean, the double-edged sword of that, though, is that in Endgame, did they talk about Dominion War in the post-Endgame future? No. Did they talk about the Dominion War in All Good Things? No. If it's been decades...
That's because it wasn't a thing yet.
What wasn't a thing yet? Well, yeah, but that's not a good argument. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, we don't talk about the World War II every day. It's still a specialised topic. And that was still 30 years ago, you know. I mean, if you can't... It's been over a generation of time. 20 years. Like, I get the impression something else happened that you know, be nice to be mentioned, but I doubt they'll still be necessarily reading from the Dominion War. I think
nobody reeling from it, no, but it should be laid out what happened exactly.
I think that's if we were writing it, we'd connect everything. I don't think he's smart enough at Kurtzman to do that, despite it being obvious. Like, I'm going to invent a new war in between and make that be the important thing. It's like, oh, we just had a war where everyone died. Jesus.
Yeah. Sad but true. Jason puts in $2. They find Arium floating in space and upload data. That's right. They upload the data and they find out that there's a ship called Discovery. What? And Picard's like, oh, yes, I've heard of this ship because Michael Burnham, who's the sister of Spock, and the daughter of Sarah.
And it's got a time suit, which we can use to undo the events that made me retire.
Save Beverly's life. Maybe Beverly dies.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, Brian Richards puts in $5. I think go wider than just TNG. DS9 and Voyager characters seem likely. Same era. I'm betting B4 Data and 709 based on the info they have floated. Well, I mean, Brett Spiner has been pretty vocal over the last couple of years that he's too old to play Data again. So I don't know about that. I mean, I can see Data coming back in a different body. I can really see them doing that, trying to do something new, but bring in an older character.
I just think,
but I don't want to see that. I think that would ruin the character.
I mean, I think Data would rather die than have a new body, which is actually what happened. Like, he didn't know.
Yeah.
He didn't, like, that wasn't in his mind. Maybe it was a calculation but he actually sacrificed himself knowing it was the end. Because even though he might have copied himself into the other, that's still his conscience dying. Like, he saved everyone, you know, he is also himself. He's an identity. If he transfer himself into different bodies, at some point he stops being himself. Because he doesn't want to be an AI. You know, he doesn't want to be...
Look at our shirts. You're wearing the mirror image of my shirt. What is up with that, man?
It's funny. Love it. 7 of 9's obvious, but again, this is what the fans would do. You know? The fan stuff is different to them. I mean, you know, look at... You know, are they going to take the approach of we want to live, you know, have our own thing? But just like Spock and Nemo was the most watched TNG, despite it being not brilliant TNG. Either of those episodes were the most watched. If you have a guest on every episode... I mean, you're the viewers. I mean, you pretty much guarantee millions of viewers if every episode you get a new cameo. Like, there's only 10 episodes, bring in 10 people. You'll have massive views each time. Can you imagine at the end of each trailer, you know, next episode on, action, and then just, you know, I'm looking at the pictures, and then just Harry Kim walks out and says, Admiral Picard. And I'm like, oh my god! And the next episode, Jake walks in and says, Admiral Picard! Oh my god! And then Quark, Admiral Picard. Oh my god! It's like every episode.
Mega Venom 2099
so we're like,
says,
Captain Picard. Well, shut up.
He says, well, before technically is Data now, but not really, because there's still a gap between when the information was downloaded and Data saving Picard. So there's that
Mm-hmm.
gap that could be Data, that because in that last minute he decided to self-sacrifice himself. It was the closest he had got to being a real human boy. But yeah, it is kind of technically Data, but not really. So.
And Dan23 tries to call me out. Voyager did mention the Dominion War in the Prometheus episode, and they see the Prometheus in the last episode being able to Prometheus in DS9. Yes, I specifically called out in the future episode. I wasn't mentioning. Of course, they mentioned Dominion War, but I mean in the future. Yeah. I was very clear with what I said. And in reference to is B4 Data, it's not just the data going into
of Data.
Yeah, B4 was the first iteration of the android with inferior technology and memory whatevers. So the Data entity could not exist in the same way inside B4. Not only that, but he hasn't got the emotion chip. The emotion chip was only in Data, which was fused. Or not fused. They kept changing, but I think we assume he took it with him because whatever. And so now, B4, just like Law is not Data, he acts differently in different reasons. Yes, he would have the same memories, but he would not be the same man. Now, you could argue that maybe the Data personality kind of managed to install itself in a B4 RAM, and he's wakes up oh, hello, and kind of a factory reset. But he would still wow, I can't run as fast. Damn, I'm not water resistant now. There'll still be differences that would lead to an altered version of himself slightly. He wouldn't be like Colburn. It's not the same body.
Damn, my body being all disassembled and stored in the desert has really aged me. I look wrinkled. What? It's dried out the polymers out of his skin.
Or shins on, part of the busting up the guy's neurals actually makes the body age quicker. Yeah, no, that's legitimate. Riemann tech, man. Riemann tech. Right, can I bring up somebody? Can I start bringing up people now?
Yes.
Okay. First one, Beverly Crusher. That's my first. Is Beverly Crusher a need? Especially now we're just seeing Naked Now, which is actually an interesting context.
Exactly, yeah. I would say yes. I have a feeling that's the impetus for why Picard left Starfleet. Maybe she had died as a result of this mission, whatever. I can see them getting together. Her maybe even being pregnant at the time she dies. That's something that would definitely devastate Picard, considering what happened to his brother and his nephew. He wanted to continue that Picard line. So yes, her being mentioned is an absolute certainty, in my opinion. Her being seen possibly in some kind of flashback is likely. I'm thinking she's one she's in the forerunning in my mind as to who's going to be making an appearance. So yes is the answer.
Yeah.
Or she's just they're living on the vineyard at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I think anything would be nice. I mean, it'd certainly be heart-wrenching to have her killed. And in terms of a gut punch, that'd be a strong gut punch, especially if they had a family together.
But Picard, Patrick Stewart has said that this isn't the Picard we know, and that's exactly something that would do that to this character. Mm-hmm. Totally change the way he looks at life and everything. So, yes.
Especially if it was post-retirement. Because we know the All Good Things, they did get married, so that was the path.
I could see him getting married, retiring from Starfleet, wanting to settle down and have a family, get called in for one last mission, gets the rank of admiral beforehand as a kind of hey, just to spice the deal, we'll make you an admiral. You have this one last mission to do. We really need Picard there. And then as a result of that, something happens either where Beverly is or she comes with him. She dies, and then he's totally devastated, and she's got his rank of admiral, and why he decided that, screw Starfleet.
Yeah, which will be damn harsh to Gates McFadden, unless, like you say, there's flashbacks throughout the season, because that would be a really nice way of having Gates play that part to the end. Because we've never really seen flashbacks in Trek in the same way of season-wide flashbacks, but there's multiple shows where they show you, 3 years ago up until now. I mean, Arrow, as I guess the example, I'd be less forceful about them, but that'd be a good way of showing it. And someone did say de-aging is very expensive in it, and it certainly is. If there's only one flashback, though, you could have slightly younger Picard and slightly younger. I mean, they're not that much. You know, you could still do a lot less to them than other people.
Yeah, and the doctor says, guys, she commanded a medical ship, the Pasteur man. We saw this. We saw this in a possible future, not the future.
Where Picard had the disease he did not get.
Irritmatic syndrome.
He fixed it. Well, so I mean, that fan of ours is also arguing that the Enterprise D wasn't destroyed, was refitted, and was commanded by Riker.
Yeah.
Oh wait, generations happened. So it is a you know, it's a look. It tells you that they did get married. That was a possible, and I would think that because Picard knew they did get married, his feelings wouldn't change, but he'd want to make a better effort of it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, he wouldn't steer clear just because it did happen. Well, but like Orville, I mean, you need to learn from your mistakes, but they still had a spark. Or for doubling down on what you said, but maybe he's retired on the Vineyard and she has True of Duty of the Pasteur, which would be a nice reference, and she gets killed, or even he's in the fleet in his Enterprise or whatever, and she's in the Pasteur, and the Pasteur gets destroyed. Because this is after that move. This is after All Good Things by a little bit, isn't it? I always forget. Hold on, I made the graphic last time, didn't I?
Yeah,
have a graphic for this.
Remember.
Because there's lots of goddamn.
But yeah, I mean, she could have
dates.
Become a captain and whatever as well. I mean, that's a possibility too. So I don't know. We're just running out ideas here, guys. We're not saying this is gospel truth or what is going to happen.
Because it just makes sense to have, you know, if you want to focus on Picard, sure, but show it in flashbacks would be a nice way of doing them. Yes. So that's one. But alternately, is this woman someone we need to see in the Picard show? Is this the way things went? Do you know who I'm talking about, Stuart?
Probably Vosh.
Nope. The real love of his life.
Oh, the chick from Insurrection.
Yes. Because if he went there, he wouldn't look as old as he does. So he never went there. Otherwise, he wouldn't have aged. But what do you think?
Was she the real love of his life, though, really? No.
I'm just...
I think he's somebody that he just wanted to go back and, get some. That's the vibe I got from that episode. But, I mean, it'd be interesting if she decided to leave the planet, I guess. Sure. But I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think they would go that route, to be honest.
But
that's a little too niche.
Niche with a niche. But but it would be.
I didn't even know that was her name. So.
Yeah, she's very forgettable. The name. Oh, it's a cool name though, Anish. See, it'd be interesting in the sense that this is a path you could go, especially since the Enterprise got destroyed in Generations, yet the Enterprise survived in All Good Things. So that is a distinctly different. The way he ended up. Like, I doubt he went to the Briar Patch in All Good Things universe because so many things were different. The E had a very different course than the D would have had, because the D would have been traveling for another couple of years doing things, whereas he went back to Earth and was on a, what I mean? There's this, so I think he probably didn't meet her in that version of the timeline. So it'd be kind of fun if he did like Anish, and then the planet got blown up. That'd be, if that planet got blown up, for the secret of the whatever, and then that's part of his, Grr, I hate life because my once sort of girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no to this one.
Oh yeah, me too. But I just want to put it out there. Put it out there as a possible.
Gotcha.
Another side one, Miss Guinan. Is Guinan a must? Even though she's going to be very expensive and therefore probably not worth the money.
Plus, she hasn't aged well. She's got pretty heavy.
Well, for a creature that cannot age.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, but I mean, we'll go character. What's her name? Carrie Fisher did lose quite a lot of weight when they told her to for episode 7. 7. What do you think? Is Guinan as a character? Is that a must? Should that character be in the Picard show? Is there value to have the Guinan in it?
I mean, she was such a important part of Picard's life that yes.
Was she?
It would be, I believe so. He
Why?
really trusted her, her advice, her wisdom. He looked to her quite often in times when he was having difficulties figuring something out. So to have her there makes sense. That being said, I don't think that's going to be something that's going to happen. Maybe later in the series, as you know, depending on how well it does, but I don't think. Maybe her death is also something that could really impact him as well. So having her mentioned at least is likely.
But again, this is the same thing as what we would do versus, you know, what the people do, because they've got their own story, their own take. And Serta says, I don't think Whoopi would do it. I disagree. I think she should be super up for it. I think she was quoted as she would have done the movies if she was asked. She just was never asked.
Yeah.
She would, but
I mean,
she loved them.
Burnsy3210 says Guinan as voice only. Yeah, I can see her being on a comm channel or something, good. Maybe.
Or just like a face with a hat in a monitor, like Janeway was. Which doesn't, you know, that's not too different. You know, give her some black hair, dreadlock stuff, because you know. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I would like to see her come back. Honestly, I would like to see the character. I don't think it's very likely. But yeah, good call there. Would you like to see her back?
I think this is why I pitched you a while ago. One actor should be in every episode, and the episode sort of revolve around them and their skills, or at least they're super important. So if there was a reason, maybe that part of the story they find an Elorian old piece of tech, and because their race is ancient, it's really useful, and they have to call Guinan and say, Guinan, just like they call Spock in the darkness, and say, Guinan, how do you activate it? And she gives them some instructions. She's like, thank you, Guinan, and she's like, when you come back to Earth, but you know, John Luke, I want to bake you a cake, and she's like, oh, where's my wine? I ordered it a week ago. You know, like you can make it just a fun little scene, but I want it to feel quite. I don't know. It's tricky because either it's important to the plot or it isn't. Yeah.
And Dan23 says Whoopi Goldberg was a nemesis at the wedding. I think that's the picture we've been looking at for the whole time we've been talking here. So yes.
But being in it is not the same as being in it. Having no functional part means you were in it. Doesn't mean you were in the movies as an actual.
Even Wesley was at that wedding. How did that happen? He took off with the Traveler. Did he?
Yeah.
Take a break to come back for that. Plus, he was wearing a Starfleet uniform, which doesn't make any sense. But
well, ceremony.
It is what it is.
You know. Yes. Okay, another potential. Who shall I jump on next as a potential? What about Mr. Tuvok, who, you know, who left the Alpha Quadrant as a Maquis spy, who had an excellent career as a Starfleet officer on Voyager, clearly shown his mustard, and came back and heavily qualified. Do you think maybe as an not ambassador, but is he a good security officer? He would be a captain. You know,
as much as I like Tuvok, I really love the character Tuvok. He's one of my favorite Star Trek characters. Not a huge fan of Tim Russ personally, but that's another story. Tuvok, I don't want to see him back. I do love his character, but I mean, we saw him in Renegades as being head of Section 31. So that's kind of where that character needs to stay, I think. And I know it's just a fan film or whatever, but again, I don't think we need to see him in the Picard series as much as I would love to. I do love his character, and I'm sure Tim Russ would come back and do a fantastic job as Tuvok again. But I don't need to see it, and I'd say no to that.
Okay.
I don't see where he would fit in unless it's just on screen, kind of like an Admiral Janeway in the movie on the display kind of thing for a brief moment.
See, I would say it's the opposite, because Tuvok is such a malleable character. He's a uber professional, uber talented security chief, Vulcan quality officer. So you could have him as the second in command of any ship, believable. You could have him be, you know, on the Vulcan embassy as a higher up, sure. You could have him lead some sort of Federation task force, sure. He can be one of the higher ups of Starfleet Academy as a security instructor. So there's lots of things he could be in Starfleet Academy as a security instructor, and he'd be one of the teachers that Picard bumps into. He's actually very malleable because the character is he's just good at his job, and he's got several eras worth of experience, and so I could see him. It's such an easy alien to have there, and we found obviously. I mean, Picard did deal with him in the Elite Force 2 game, when in that game, him and the Hazard Squad joined the Enterprise Z, and you get to do all that stuff. But as a character, I think he'd be a fun teacher. Go to the academy and Professor Tuvok is doing, or Captain Tuvok is doing a lecture, and he bumps into him because Tuvok knows the inner workings of some sort of secret thing or whatever, and he talks to him. So I think that's actually a very natural choice because he can fit lots of roles and just be there, or he can just be second.
I mean, he could definitely fill a lot of roles, but I don't think that's somebody they would bring back necessarily.
But I mean, I'd rather have him than a random Vulcan. He has a lot of personality, a lot of good characterization. If you have a random Vulcan who's just a tactical commando, I mean, there's Tuvok. I mean, you can easily do that. Obviously, don't ruin the character, but I think he's just so malleable. Yeah.
And Jean-Luc Picard himself is here, and he put in a super chat of $1.99. So welcome, Jean-Luc Picard. Jean-Luc Picard. Bring my broad Vosh back. I need to get laid. Well then, I'm going to tell you this right now. Chicks don't like to be called broads. Just saying that. It's not cool, man.
And Surf Trek Tonics. Tuvok could be an admiral or Vulcan minister or something. Well, he definitely wouldn't be an admiral. He hasn't earned that yet. Although I guess 20 more years, but that's still...
20 years he might have, yeah.
That's a long time. I mean, obviously he didn't get much upgrades in that time, but you have to have, he had a 10-year captaincy, and then... I don't know. Vulcan minister, maybe he's not very... He's more into Starfleet than Vulcaniness. Okay. Rob Picardo says, atheist for the cause. Yes. Yes. Rob Picardo is always good. Unless the character they bring back are not connected to the story, it would be meaningless fan service. Yes, 100%. It should be either integral to the story or the character is important to help them progress. I mean, the fact is that all of these actors have a role in their shows, so all of them have a purpose in the greater thing as well.
Sorry about that.
And guys,
Jill says chicks don't like to be called chicks.
I mean, people like... some people don't like being called dude. I mean, it's a whole variety of people, I mean, some people call everyone dude. Women as well. It's just a
Jill,
joke term,
Jill, that was a joke that I did, so.
Yeah. But 275 people watching, which is awesome. Please click that like button. Only 90 likes. Click that like button. Click it.
Click it. Thank you. Click it now. Do it.
And of course, please.
That's somebody that should come back for the Picard show. Is the like button?
Yes. Hashtag Picard cameo like spike. And of course, do keep super chatting, guys. Let us know what you think. We want to talk about what you guys.
Tom Zeros 48 says Garrick should be back. I would love to see Garrick back. I love his character.
There he is.
Oh, he was in your list?
With very, very few in my list.
And he was one of them. Damn.
I've got a lot of people here.
I mean, it would make sense because the Federation would be trying to help out Cardassian at this point, I'm sure. Well, Cardassians are probably
10 years past that. I mean, we're a bit past any of that immediate reaction stuff. As much as, if he's there, he's there, but they're on to other things. Like, where do you think he'd fit in specifically, Mr. Garrick? Is there an Obsidian Order anymore? Well, there isn't. I mean, is there a new one? Is he ahead of it? I mean, is that a thing?
Possibly. He would also make a great liaison between the Federation and the Cardassian, assuming he got his favor back with the Cardassian military or the government. But anything can happen. It's been 20 years, man. A lot can happen in 20 years.
Yes.
Like, how old are you? You're 20 years is a huge majority of your life. A lot can happen in 20 years. is what I'm saying. So
And also, a lot can not happen in 20 years.
this is true.
It's
We
been
still don't
5.
have flying cars.
Yeah. I mean, Garrick, I think he's actually kind of the worst guy to be a liaison with the Cardassians because he's so mischievous. I mean, you couldn't trust him.
But he understands the Federation so well.
Which is even worse
He
then, because
understand.
he's always been
No,
for
it's good.
Cardassia, so he'd be actively always subverting. I mean, you wouldn't be able to trust him on anything.
But he's grown to like the Federation, so it would be a good character to have because you're not sure if you should trust him, even though he's acting like you definitely should. I think it'd be fantastic, actually.
I'll go as far as spy ambassador, but liaison, he's one of my worst choices, in my opinion.
I disagree. I think his time with the Federation on Deep Space Nine has really made him see both sides of the situation, and I don't think he would be all for Cardassia now only. I really disagree with you there. I think that'd make a very interesting character for sure.
But he got even more patriotic in the last season, to the point that he was on Cardassia. He was the one charging the phase, going, "Oh, for Cardassia!" Like that. He went fully patriotic. I think it's the opposite. I think he got even more. But would he follow in his dad's footsteps and be an Obsidian Order guy? I mean, he tried to not be his dad. Would he want to be like his dad? Because that seems almost too cliche, but he is the son of the guy that previously ran it. So there is a lot of link there, and I can very much... I mean, this is really sub-story, but his dad, like, leaving him a secret vault with a message saying, Galen, or whatever his name was, you know, here's the secrets of our order, and lots of money so you can make it even better, and...
I could see him and Bashir teaming up to, you know, Bashir was part of Section 31 for a minute, so they should be a team. I don't know. I mean, you could do a lot with the character for sure if you brought him back. So
I just think he's such a careful character because he's so everything and nothing. To set him on one path is dangerous.
That's why the character would be good, because you're not sure which way he's going. He could be playing both sides.
Yeah, so it'd be more just a guy that comes in. But then everyone knows him, so everyone knows not to trust him. Or maybe he's, you know, second minister of Cardassia with his wife. And he's like a father.
Jamal said, I'd like to see Garrick reluctantly running Cardassia, like in the later books. Like he kind of got put in this position that he didn't really want. I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Tom Zeras 48 puts in $5 Canadian, so thank you.
Thank you.
Just seeing Robinson and Stewart in the same scene would be awesome. Yeah,
Robinson?
It would be. The guy that played Garrick.
Well, and to double down on Garrick again, I mean, the makeup will make him look as young as he needed to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Gul Dukat. He's a really old actor.
The only thing that's aged on him really is his hair and his hairline. So yeah, the makeup would definitely take care of all that.
And that was still part of the makeup. I mean, that hairline is still... It's like Worf for minutes.
That's fake hair.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so you
exactly.
Put fake hair on
that's
fake hair. Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure they age slower. That's the great thing. Worf and him, I mean, it's instant.
That's it. Everybody ages better than humans except for the Ocampa. Everybody outlives humans.
Yes.
It's like we suck.
Yeah.
Stephen Fathry puts in $5. We shouldn't get our hope up too high. They may not bring back any other old characters in season 1, like how Discovery waited until season 2 to show us Pike and Spock. I mean, yeah, they might try going their own route and not, you know, showing us old characters, but they're gonna have to reference some stuff. They're gonna have to. It can't be just like, "Hey, how's it going? I'm Picard." It's got to be like some kind of, you know, what happened. There's got to be some story there that we at least hear a few names.
Well, I mean, in
and
season
get references
1,
for.
in Discovery, we got Archer. I mean, we've got a few nice little ones, and as you know, Stephen, that they were flagging quite a lot. They were like, "Shit, we need to get love back to the fans," you know, because the producers literally said, "Oh, we'll never see Spock in Discovery," flat out. Yep. And it's like, "Oh crap, the entire season revolves around him." So we're flagging. We need to get something here, and they actually succeeded. They did, because they did them with respect, you know, for the most part. So I think if anything, since Kurtzman is still there, he will see the benefit. I mean, the entire show revolves around bringing an actor back. So you'd want to bring back other actors to keep that buzz. Because think about it, how many leads have you, how many heroes do you have between Voyager, DS9, and TNG? What, a good 25, 30?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 2 seasons. If you've got 10 episodes, you could have 3 seasons. You could have like all of them. If you wanted to like to continue to get new press, next week on DS9, the Marquis are back. Chakotay, I am a terrorist now. Ha ha ha. This week on Picard.
That was the best trailer ever.
Yep.
Jeff Jacobs puts in $5.
Hi, Jeff.
Wow, I just got here and already over 100 likes. I will go again at 200.
Thank
# Picard guest like spike. # make Jeff pay.
Make Jeff
Yes,
pay.
all these things. All these things.
Thanks, Jeff. We love you, Jeff.
Eugene, our good buddy Eugene is here. Puts in 2,000 rubles.
Which
Thank you
is
very much.
$30 American.
Wow, thank you very
Which
much,
is
Eugene. That's very
incredible.
generous.
Thank you, Eugene.
I hope there won't be any TNG cameos. All Good Things was the best TNG ending. Generations was kind of meh ending, and Nemesis was kind of blah. If this thing turns into yet another TNG finale, that would be unbearable. I see your point, absolutely. I don't think it's going to be a TNG finale. You're not going to have the whole ensemble cast there for one like slow pan out.
Or slow parents playing poker with their kids.
Yeah.
Riker's kid, Geordie's kid. It's like,
playing
poker.
Poker with like candies instead of chips.
Yeah. Replica rations. Yeah. Isolated chips. I mean, Eugene, you are right in a lot of ways there. All Good Things was definitive. But Nemesis wasn't meant to be the final. Hence why it was a bit lackluster as a final. But, now you're right. We do need now the next final for Picard. I mean, the way Picard finishes needs to be epic, because his Nemesis wasn't too bad. It was kind of like, and off to another adventure. But now they actually got to do a proper, goodbye to the character at some point, and we really won't come back ever again. Stuart has paused, but I'm sure we'll be back eventually.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, if not TNG, leave TNG for season 1. Have like a Voyager or DS9 person, even if just you have a Grand Nagus ROM, even if just the galactic politics stuff you link people in.
Yeah.
You're frozen, your visual. I don't know if you want to reset your video.
Okay, I'll read. Boop. Rough. The dogs don't like me resetting the video, apparently. So there you go. But I'm back.
Thank you.
No. You're not welcome. Oh, what were we talking about? You asked me a question? Yes? No? Maybe?
Nope, next super chat. Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
Gene. Amazing. Really helpful.
Big T, nice house, puts in $5 Canadian. Would love to see an old Picard pleading with Admiral Barclay, who is now in a position of power at Starfleet headquarters. Listen, Admiral Barclay. Yeah.
I'd love, a Barclay Admiral, Engineer Admiral would be brilliant, actually. Be fun.
I still think Barclay's an idiot. I love the character, but really an admiral in charge of something, Mr. Neuroses, I don't think so.
Maybe.
But I mean, anything's possible.
Well, maybe
we could see any of these people come back for
Or
honestly,
maybe he got married, had a kid, and fatherhood really mellowed him, and then he went the full engineering course, and because he wasn't having to be worried on missions throughout the galaxy, he was just at home. Let him bounce out a bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got enough of our Barclay fix in Voyager. Same with Troy. Don't want to see her again unless it's with Riker on the Titan or something. That'd be kind of a nice.
Yes.
And please age him better than they did in All Good Things. He looked like such an idiot, and that's just not good age makeup.
Riker?
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't age him. They just use how he looks now.
I know, but I'm just saying.
I mean, life has done that for you, Stuart. But it's true. I mean, the most obvious cameo would be to have just the Titan. And if you just want one reference, you have him meet the Titan, because Lieutenant, where's the Titan? Meet up with them, and it's just, you know,
It got destroyed 7 years ago, sir. Don't you remember?
I have a PTSD
Oh,
flashback,
yes.
and it's like, oh god.
My damn aromatic syndrome.
I mean, if you want to,
kicking it.
and if, yeah. Oh god, the whole thing's an aromatic dream. God, and at the end it's just Q flashing him back to all good things as the ending again. It's the exact same ending because he's like, God damn it, I lived it twice, 2 futures. It comes back again. That'd be great. That'd be great if it re-ends all good things. It's just, but in widescreen HD, like it widescreens it for the first time, or anamorphics it, just whatever. But no, if you want to go, there was a art exhibition. It was meant to be a big thing, but it ended up getting cancelled. And it had a live action / video Titan thing, and that had Tuvok as chief security. Wesley was one of the engineers. Obviously Riker and Troy, and that was the Titan team. So that'd be a good Titan team. You know, Titan flying by, Titan refit, Titan A. You know, yeah.
Howrats 96 puts in $5. Well, if this series takes place at Starfleet Academy, I guess the question would be, who might be teaching classes there now? Tom Paris, Flight 101? Well, we could probably see Chief O'Brien. He was going to Starfleet to teach. So that would be a nice tie-in, actually. I would love to see O'Brien back. Brian would be great. I would love O'Brien.
I mean, O'Brien again is kind of he's just a good at his he's just a good at his job guy. Like you know what I mean? He's very similar to a Tuvok, although in a human context, because they built him as a double act with Bashir. You lose Bashir, he loses a bit of that charm. But wouldn't it be then fun if he's there and then they bring back Molly as one of the students in Picard's class? I mean, he's obviously retired. He's not. But if he'd been in the academy show that we thought, how fun that'd be to have Molly be a officer, and then you get to see O'Brien and Keiko. Because families, and also an Asian character. I mean, yay! But
I could do without Keiko. I never liked her character. But
well, I mean, have Naomi Wildman have an alien. You know, I mean, she's half. What race was her dad?
Hold on. Sylvia might know this.
Yeah.
I'll just ask her. Hold on.
Okay.
Sylvia.
Hello.
What's her name again in Voyager?
Naomi Wildman.
Naomi Wildman. What was her dad? What race was he? Species.
Oh, hang on.
We'll figure this out yet. Somebody's probably going to answer it in the chat.
Aryan?
No, not Aryan.
No, Caterian.
Oh, Caterian. No, I don't think so.
Maybe. I am Googling because it feels ridiculous to not do
I caught her off guard. She was watching something else. So I feel bad.
Caterian.
It was Caterian? Caterian. Yeah,
Whoa,
yeah.
Baby. Don't question me.
What?
That's right. Okay.
So yeah.
Surprised I've lived this long.
I mean,
Oh,
that obviously,
very
you could rehire a different actress, although I don't know if she's still a working actress, but have the grown up people. It's like Icheb, have Captain Commander Icheb. I mean, these people that can do more things. I don't know. There's so much potential, as we know.
Well, Howrats 96 puts in $2 and says Captain Geordi is my number one pick. Seeing Geordi back would be fine. And yeah, Captain Geordi would be good because it would tie in with the was it Timeless that he was in as the captain? So that would work. He's got a good look to him now. Let's say captain, got the authoritative look. So, I mean, I would be all for seeing Geordi again.
Yeah,
there's some I would like to see back, and others that I'd be like meh. Geordi's one that I would like to see back.
And this is one of those things where some are just important to the story. It's same like go to Nog. Nog, quick obviously makeup, and you could have enhanced Ferengi, and there's so many stories you could do with the political climate of the first. Don't have to be captain, but the first second in command Ferengi. Maybe you could, if you really want to go dark with it, have what's the Ferengi racism like? If you're the first second in command Ferengi in Starfleet, I don't know why you'd go the race card when it was all fine in DS9 pretty much. But it depends what the show's going to go for. If it's going to go for dark themes or that are about people or about a story and a narrative, It's like I don't want to see racist stuff in the Trekyards. I don't want to see people being mean for no reason. If there's a reason, okay, fine. But it's like in the Red Squad episode on the Valiant. The negative towards Jake's he's not one of them. Okay, being negative, douchey, there's a reason. It's not because of who he is. It's because who he isn't, I guess. He's not racist. It's just he's not Red Squad.
The thing is, there will be racism in the future because there's not going to be. It's always going to exist. So to say it would not exist is ignorant and a little too optimistic.
But isn't it speciesism at that point? I mean,
it is. It's the same thing, though. It's just the same thing.
Well, a race of, I guess I suppose a race of Ferengi, a race of whatever. But but it's not.
There's somebody we got to talk about soon, but we got 2 super chats to get to first. So, the Mr. P channel.
Can't just skip that one.
Which one?
I mean, the one that you're referring to. In a minute.
I don't think you know who I'm talking about.
Well, okay, let's see.
The Mr. Pete channel needs 700 subs, puts in $2 and says, "Bring back the one we all want, Rom, Moogie."
Yep. I mean, sure.
I'd love to see Lita again. Just saying.
Like I said, in the Ferengi are a good race, a good culture. They can come back. I mean, I saw. What's his name? Armin Shimon in the makeup for the last time at Destination, and when they brought in the person that did it on the show, it was scary how the same he looked. 20 years had passed for the person, not at all for the character. Whereas they normally do the cheap makeup for both Rom and Nog, and they look. I mean, they literally have incorrect ear sizes, so they look both. I think there was one where it's like because Rom and Nog. God damn it. They have obviously very distinct looks, and so if you make either of them incorrectly proportioned, you sense it. And I think they just said that Rom just didn't fit into his ears. It's like doesn't look like Rom. I mean, it looks like the guy underneath looks like Rom, but like it's clearly not the correct prosthetic. Whereas if you put the actual Quark prosthetic on Quark, it looks like Quark.
Well, No One Special, who is now number 1 special, puts in $50. So thank you very much for the great super chat. I would like to see known people in short communications with Picard, helping him around normal channels. Also, Commander, you know what $50 means. Good luck. Oh, good luck now. That's what the $50 was for. I thought it was an odd super chat, but thank you very much.
That's why I was trying to ignore it and move on and kept talking about Ferengis for 20 minutes. But yay, $50. That's awesome. That really is awesome.
Gotta be a man of your word, and you said it to Flash, so there you go.
Did. Hold on, you talk, and I'll do a random moment.
Okay. Should I mention that the person that a lot of people have been saying in the chat, and in the comments on Facebook that one of the best people to bring back would be Sela. Bring back what's her name? I can't remember the actress's name offhand. Anyway, bring her back as a nice, considering what happened to Romulus, and there's a whole bunch of tie-ins there that you could definitely use. She was in Star Trek Online as well. I don't know if they're going to take Star Trek Online into consideration. I don't believe they will, but she's a good character to bring back for sure. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that one. That's the one I was thinking of, and is it the same one you were thinking of? That you didn't want to talk about?
No, the naked one. That chat I don't want to talk about.
Gotcha.
And also, Scottish Trekker says hi. Hi, Scottish Trekker. Trekkie.
Hello.
So I'm gonna put the picture on Worf, so you can know about Worf and why Worf, yay nay. Well, I psych myself up.
Why? Okay, Worf. He's one of the most fleshed out characters in all of Star Trek. So really, he could come back. That would be fine. But at the same time, we've already seen a lot of him. He's had a second life in DS9, so we don't really need him back. But he would definitely be something that they could work with and do something with. Oh, that was good. That was good. That was a moment
for effect.
It was a moment frozen in time. Whoever's gonna pause that. What I was saying.
You made me do that, audience. Why you made me do that?
what I was saying while you were gone was that Worf is one of the most fleshed out characters in all of Star Trek because of TNG and Deep Space Nine.
Oh god. Keep going. No, I'm done. Just laughing at myself. Sorry.
So, I mean, he's already had a second wind, second life in Deep Space Nine. We got to see a lot of his character. He's multi-dimensional for sure. So, yeah, bringing him back would be super easy to do, and you could use him in many ways. But we don't need him necessarily to come back because we have seen a lot of this character. I would almost prefer somebody else come back instead of Worf. Worf should be there and be referenced or help him with something at some point for sure, but not be a focused on character necessarily because we've already got a lot of Worf. Like I said, he's had his run. He's had TNG, he's had DS9. Other character, I think, from all the TNG era, as far as character building goes, which is ironic because originally Gene Roddenberry just wanted him on the bridge as a background character and not really explored too much. So yeah,
I mean, again, if I was writing it, if I was to cut back to Kronos, after 20 years, I would cut back to a very cool, council room based on the TNG one, but with budget, with some green screen stuff and real sets. I would have, 6 Klingons in much more modernistic, hyper-looking armor. And I'd have Martok walk in, back turned to the camera, sit down with more grey hair, looking very, very cool, and shout, Ambassador Worf, get in here! And Worf walks in a very cool robe, kind of like half battle armor, half roby, looking more like All Good Things, and they have a really, powerful conversation, because Worf is going against the Chancellor, not for malice, just he thinks he's doing the wrong decisions. And then Worf goes to the Federation because he doesn't believe in what the Chancellor's doing. And how cool of a, you want galactic politics. What more do you need than to have Worf and Martok?
Do we want galactic politics though? Because that's what the Phantom Menace and the original the second trilogy that George Lucas did was focused on the politics, and it was boring.
That's because the way they did it was boring, and the characters are boring, the characterizations are boring, the stories are boring. Yes, I do want to focus on politics.
And politics are boring. So
you thought DS9 seasons 4 to 7 are boring?
No, because that was a war. That wasn't politics. That was war.
Me? A lot of politics happened. A lot of chatting.
Yeah, but with a lot of cool stuff as well.
Which is exactly how you do it. Just even more cool stuff. I mean, obviously, that's what I mean.
Sure.
I don't mean politics, but that it's like Game of Thrones. You haven't seen Game of Thrones, but politics is it's intrigue. It's people whatever. And Worf, I mean, he should still possibly be a married ambassador. Still makes a lot of sense.
That makes me wonder why you're not interested in Garrick then, because I think that could really ramp up the political intrigue with Garrick, not sure what side he's actually on and which side he's more related to. But
that wasn't what was interesting about Garrick in the sense that he did want for Cardassia. That was pretty much his...
He never knew his intentions. He never knew his true intentions. That was the best part about that character.
But it was always for Cardassia. That was pretty...
was it, though?
Yeah.
Looking back, no, not really.
That's the vibe I still have. Obviously he was sad to be away, and he had to have his, feel-good chip on every single day because he was so angry at his life of being banished and just to live, and then he got heavily addicted to it. And obviously he was a Tal Shiar operative that couldn't be Tal Shiar anymore, and then he was the buffer between Cardassians and Federation, and he helped them get stuff, and so if he kept being unscrupulous after he's been welcomed home for 20 years, that he'd be a radically different character. That's why I don't think he's interesting now, because his interesting thing was that he was grey. He didn't know where he was exactly, even if it was probably for the Cardassians. Mm-hmm. Whereas Worf is he's very simple, but it's how he relates to these galactic things. If you're going to look at the Klingons through a prism, why not be through Worf's eyes? Because again, isn't like he's aged. You want instant production value, you got Worf. And then you can have Kern back, you can have, Worf's wife, you can have Worf's son, not necessarily one Alexander, but, you have all these connections, or just a random Klingon. And, what's better than that, Stuart? You can't reboot Worf's makeup. He looks like he looks. So at least we'll have one Klingon-looking Klingon. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I
think that's worth it.
Well, yeah, when you put it that way. But no,
Garrett's a tricky one,
anyway.
That's what I mean. You know, like
Yeah.
if the Cardassian Union was like not necessarily a villain state, but they seceded from any talks. They were really negative, and then you were like, Garrick suddenly walks on Earth. You're like, the hell is he doing here? We haven't heard from him in like 6 years. Why is he? You know, then that's really interesting. But you know, yeah.
Yeah. Good Tea Nice House puts in $2 Canadian.
Thank you.
Naomi Wildman's dad was named Gress Krendrektak.
Yeah.
I don't know. Thank you. Rick Cassell III puts in $5. Riker should be an admiral and shouldn't salvage the Enterprise D saucer section off of Viridian 3, then pairs, or he should, sorry, and then pairs it to the new drive section plus refits. No. Saucer's pretty screwed.
Because also it wouldn't be allowed to be called Enterprise D either. Like that's also it just wouldn't. You can't have two active enterprises. It doesn't work. So doubly doesn't work. We get what you mean, but all good things are still alternate. Although it's just, I mean, the badges there should still be some things used, but anything they don't use is still fine because it's just like, yeah, it's alternate. You know.
Yeah. Michael Callane puts in $2.99 Australian. Just joined Trekyards on Patreon. Love the channel. Well, thank you very much. The Patreon members are elite, and we love you guys. Thank you very much.
That is amazing. Thank you so much. We had quite a dip recently, and so we you know we're looking to do more stuff. I've got FedCon. You've got Wonderfest. And then we've got another big thing we're doing. So we are looking to do some cool Patreon stuff. But thank you so much. It is literally with these chats and that Patreon that we keep this channel going. And we want to keep it going. So thanks so much.
Joseph Petrick puts in €2. A screen cap and demonetized due to nudity. But why? There was no nudity. No one special. Number one special put in $5. I'm sorry to make you do that, but I love to see you out of your comfort zone. All I can afford for a while. Well, thank you.
I hope you think you got what you paid for.
Oh man.
Okay,
Hell Rats 96.
At least those $50 to pay for the therapy.
Therapy. Yeah. For everyone. Hell Rats 96 puts in $2. O'Brien's kids will probably be old enough for Starfleet Academy. Oh yeah, they'd be the perfect age. So would theoretically, depending on when Picard had a kid, if Picard had a kid, they would also be old enough to be entering Starfleet Academy. So yeah.
Well, if you had kids relatively quickly, I mean, you can enter the academy at like 14, 15. That's what the Prodigies were doing, like Chekhov, because he was like one of the youngest. So it's been 20 years. Yeah. He could have kids already at the academy as officers, which I think would be really cool to have him have a son that's already an officer or a daughter. That for me would be really interesting. But that's just me.
AC Castillos in the chat asks, do you think the crash saucer in Viridian 3 could have been transformed into a colony site? Would Starfleet have destroyed the site afterwards? No, they would have removed the saucer and destroyed all evidence that it happened.
Well, because that planet was habited. Like there was non-warp capable people on that planet, just another part of the planet. They got killed. They obviously didn't get killed because the thing didn't get destroyed. So yeah, they need to remove everything before they see you. It was habited. Yeah. So I want to throw another one at you then, Miss Kira Nerys. Currently the one of the possibly leader of the Bajoran one of the leaders of Bajoran. Would make a lot of sense.
You haven't watched
DS9.
You haven't watched What We Left Behind yet, have you?
Nope, but I'm seeing it in a month. But again, that definitely won't be linked as canon because they care way more than the producers of Picard do.
Nah, I don't want to see her in Picard, no.
Okay.
It would work. It would work for sure, but I don't know. Personally, no.
Yeah, she's so linked to Bajorans. The Bajorans are such a who cares race? You know, unless obviously like they found the 10th orb, and the 10th orb has the power of, you know, quantum manipulation, and that is a super weapon. Maybe the red matter came from an orb, and just they have to go back to Bajor to talk to Kira. That would be something, but like you'd be really shoehorning it in if you went to Bajor at any point in the show. It's like, really? Went to Bajor? DS9 is different. Bajor is Bajor. Want to throw another one in, Stuart?
Mm-hmm.
This old wonderful man. What do you think?
I don't know. I gotta wait for the stream to catch up.
I know.
You'll literally know how long it is because I'm waiting still. It's not nice to call Kira an old man, just so you know. So there he is, Scotty. All right. No.
Oh.
Won't work. No, absolutely not.
Well, now that's the exception. The actor obviously did die, but he is plenty alive. And if you look at how old McCoy was compared to how old Scotty is, I mean, there's at least a 30, 40, 50-year gap. So he could easily have lived to this point quite happily. I mean, who's older, him or Picard, at the age of TNG? I mean, Scotty wasn't like 100 at this point when he got rescued. I mean, if Picard was in his 60s, I mean, what? It's Geordie. He was in his 90s, 80s. You know what I mean? He's not. Can't be that. It just looks older because the actor's older. You know, but the disconnect of ages. Would you be okay with it if they brought like an older, if they recast a Scotty, and as an engineer?
No, I wouldn't want to see that. As far as I'm concerned, Scotty's story being kind of like going off in the shuttle and doing his own thing and come back for a novel or two is all I need to know. I don't need to know his fate. You know, I don't need to see him again, and I don't want to see him recast. So absolutely.
Okay. I just love his inclusion in the novel where he helps design Enterprise E. I really find that nice, and so have him be maybe not top of his field, but have fresh ideas based on old ideas. I like that idea that he could help in some really clever way. But okay,
yeah,
that's
that was really well. That was really well done. But yeah,
I just want to bring them up.
Yeah.
So I've an alternate, our left field, and I'll just say it. What about Commander Denatra of Rumum ship Valdor?
Yes, I would love to see her again. I think that'd be great. You've made a friend in the Romulan, whatever today.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. Guy's an instant no, it's an instant yes. Well, I'm glad. I was assuming you'd be like, yeah, didn't even know she was in the movie. No, I think she's good. She had a lot of presence for what she had.
Yeah.
And if you want Romulan tie-ins, I mean, the actress is still alive. If you look at how much makeup she has, I mean, you can hide age with this makeup very easily. She'd be old as she wants to be. Why not have
her and Sela?
Yeah, two factions. That'd be really fun. And if you want female empowerment, you've got, there you go, two females controlling both sides of the Roman Empire. One the loyalists and one the rebellion. It'd be fun. Why not? Why yes, but why not? But Stuart, the real question we should be asking is this character, do you think she should come back based on her integral part in one of the movies? I will wait for your live reaction because, again, she was so important in this movie. That I want to know, do you think she has to come back?
I don't even know who that is. I know she's in Insurrection because I can tell by the guys behind. Where is she? Is that First Contact?
No, she's the lady at the start of Insurrection. It's like, stand down now, Data! Stand down! Do you think she needs to be in Picard, the head of the Double Line mission?
No.
She yells very strong, though. Look at her red lipstick. I mean, don't you think she should be in it?
No. What about... Okay, I got one for you then. Vosh. I'd like to see Vosh back.
In what context?
As a love interest for Picard, either like dead or alive on the Vineyard.
I mean,
just as instead of Beverly, it's kind of like a.
Well, no, not really, because they already had like 7 years never seeing each other again. It'd be odd for her not to be married, have kids, do all that stuff. Just in general, to have them, like, she wouldn't be the same person. Even 15 years later, she was this young adventurer woman who liked older men. If she's in her late 50s, she's not the same adventurer woman. So I think she's a very different person, and I could see it being she found this ancient artifact and only trusts Picard. Yes, but she wouldn't play the same. I mean, it was even a little bit weird to still have the lady in Indy 4 be very similar. It's like, really, you haven't changed much in that many years? Although she was a bit more cute about it, but I mean, yeah. I never kind of thought they had as much chemistry as the other people did. Like, she wouldn't have been happy with him later down the line. It was more of a physical thing, you know? Whereas Beverly, it's a whole list. And with Anish, it's like it's like a deeper thing, because Anish is like, I see past age, I see the person underneath. That's like the anti-physical. It's like, I like you for the person inside. So that's interesting. Yeah, she has three things. That's not Vash.
Got it.
What?
I got to split for a second or two.
Sure.
When I come back, I got a doozy.
Okay. Yeah, TNG Vash was the lady that went off with Q. Yeah, I know Vashes. I know most people are. Jill. CGI de-aging, too expensive for TV shows. If it was a movie, yes. Yes. Vincent396, it'd be cool to see Geordie and the Challenger swoop in to save the day in a battle like the Enterprise Ian did in First Contact. Yes, it would. Yes, I mean, again, there's so many elements that it would be great to continue that sort of should continue. You know?
All right. Ready for the doozy?
You're not deucing, are you?
No, I don't douche. Okay.
Okay.
This is an obvious one. People have been screaming about this all day, too.
Oh, goodness.
Q. Everybody's saying Q needs to come back. And I'm like, well, no, not really. I mean, it would be cool. I mean, you could do a lot of different things with him. He, of course, looking older is fine. You know, he's looking older, look older like Picard, you know, like the same way he wore a captain's uniform to be like Picard. So that's fine, whatever. I don't think he needs to come back. A lot of people are screaming that he must come back in the Picard series. He must be given his screen time. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Q is not what defined Picard. Sure, he kind of like tested the crew over this 7-year mission or whatever. But we don't need Q to have Picard. A lot of people seem to think that we do. I just want to get your thoughts on that specifically, because I mean, I'm sure John Delancey would be down for it.
The problem is I sort of connect John Delancey with Q, and I met the man in Destination. He was not very nice. But he was obviously
that's the problem I have with some of the characters too. But
he wasn't feeling very well. But he was sort of a snippy man. You know, he plays a part very well, and also if he's with a fan, he plays well. But he was obviously like tired, not in the mood, and he just didn't have time. Which is, you know, fine. But also, I've heard the panel very specifically where someone asks, so are you and Patrick Stewart really good friends? And he's like, I mean, no.
No.
I mean, I saw him once a year for 3 days, and then the next year. And we've hung out maybe twice outside of that. I mean, I like the man, but I wouldn't say I'm friends with him at all. It's just a miracle they had connection. So he's actually was barely in Star Trek, barely in TNG, while he has a huge impact. He's him as the actor. It's just another gig to him, and the problem with Q as a whole concept is he's all powerful. So any situation he comes in on, and this is gonna be a much more dark show, I'm sure, Q could obviously just stop it. So I think bring Q into this world is probably dangerous, because then you're saying, well, why isn't Q the god? Stop it. Whereas in TNG, it reset every week. It was more lighthearted. It was more just fun. It's a different sort of context show. Now, Q's son, maybe, if he's, like, de-Qified, you could have something. But again, that's sort of, you know. Like, I'd rather have a Janeway than a Q. I think Janeway adds a lot more than Q does. And again, it would be weird if, you know, the 65-year-old Q is like, hello, Mom, Capitan. It's like, no, that'd be weird, you know. He works well because he's bouncy, and he even started feeling a little bit too old, you know, like they're overly make-upping him in his End of Voyager. Like, he looked his age, and you can tell, like, anti-wrinkle makeup just trying to keep him looking younger, and it wasn't quite working his last appearance. So he needs. I mean, how old is John Delancey now? But he does keep doing the part. We did it for Timelines, their trailers recently, and he was still voice on point. So I could see maybe Picard having, again, this is like super fan narrative-y stuff, but have like, dreams, and Q is the navigator of his dreams. You know, is he dreaming Q? Is Q there to help him, sort of thing? That would be interesting. That's, but no, not as a full character. I think wouldn't work so well. How old is John Delancey? 70. Playing a young sprite. That shows you how well he's playing a young sprite at 50. Or 45.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of people have been saying that he definitely needs to make a return, and I totally disagree. I don't want this bookmarked. This, like, TNG was bookended by Q. Yeah. This one doesn't need to be the same thing, because it's like Picard's not important then. It's just when Q's around. I don't know. It's just... It would take the spotlight away from Picard, I think.
Q feels one of the more shoehorned characters if he did. Honestly. Yeah. Which is weird, he shouldn't do, but... Yeah.
Well, yeah, he should be the most natural to be able to show up, right? So... Hellrats 96 puts in $2. Michelle Forbes as Ro Laren.
You right there, man?
Yeah, no, I'm having a stroke.
Oh, no. What?
Well, I don't like the actress and I don't like the character, so nope. No need for her to come back.
I like the actress a lot. Don't like the character, but the actress I'll give you. It'd be a weird mystery. She was meant to have died, maybe. So it'd be a weird mystery to undo. 27 years later, I guess, or like 30. But I like that. I like that from Battlestar Galactica. I think she's just perfect in that. Yeah.
Kevin Moore puts in $2. How about bringing back Savick with Spock's son? No, that's all kinds of wrong.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I don't need that. I love that as trivia. I don't need it as canon. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my That's my vibe.
That's exactly how I feel about it too.
Yeah.
I just no.
And it would have been fun if they'd done it, so we'd done it seriously. But no.
Yeah. Rick Cassell III puts in $5. Hey man, that saucer was fine. Those scratches will buff right out. No problem. Hashtag save the saucer. Yep. Use a little bit of Bondo. You shape a secondary hole out of Bondo. You just fix that up. Look good as new. No one will know the difference.
Although, to be fair, just like the Enterprise refit, just build a whole new ship around the superstructure. Like, just literally a all new ship. Yes.
So Matthew got it in the chat there. Says, Michelle Forbes is almost too talented for Star Trek. What would be the upside to agreeing to a cameo on Picard? Yeah, that's kind of my reaction.
Well, but that's the point. Not cameo. Important character for an episode. Why guest on an episode of... Well, there's an episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where Nathan Fillion is in it. Playing Nathan Fillion, pretty much. Well, why would he do it? Oh, because he likes a paycheck. They wrote a fun character. He got some good lines. He got to act.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why does anyone guest? You make Ro Laren important to the story, or whatever. I mean, it's not. There should be no cameos. Really, it should be important plot people, because then it's fun. Otherwise, you could just bump into Data at Earth Space Dock. Oh, Data, how have you been? Good, sir. Oh, I'm off to go now. Oh, good to see you, Data. And for that, you got paid $30,000. No, it's like, they should be important to plot. I'd rather have. It's like Worf, Michael Dorn. He was asked, "Do you want to be on Discovery as a low-paid Klingon descendant?" He's like, I mean, no, yeah. And William Shatner, we'd love to have you on Big Bang Theory. Well, I'm a joke. There's no good part here. Let me know when you got a good part for me. Do it if it's a good part. Otherwise, turn it down. I mean, I wasn't Michelle Forbes that didn't do DS9 because of the part issue, but it should be a good part.
Yeah.
For anyone.
Area 51 puts in $2. Simon Tarsus from the Drumhead.
Simon Tarsus from the Drumhead. I'm gonna Google.
that a character or an actor name? I think it's a character name.
Oh, interesting. He was the guy on trial in Measure of Man who was against Data, I think. Oh, and he appeared as a hologram in Voyager. That's weird. As him but in a different uniform. I guess. Yeah, Simon Tarsus.
No,
maybe
that's the answer.
Oh no! He's a no. Hold on, wrong one. Because all I can see is a guy in a courtroom. Crewman, first class. Simon Tarsus was a human Romulan hybrid male who enlisted and served in Starfleet.
Yes. No. Who would bring a character like that back? It just doesn't make any sense. That's way too niche. Way too niche. AC Castillo puts in $2.
I think it.
Philip Luvos from the Picard Stargazer trial. No. Who are these people?
She's the admiral with the very curly hair. I remember. Yeah.
Was she a bitch? Because
maybe. I don't know. I don't remember.
It's an admiral with curly hair, so probably. Or she's corrupt, or one or the other. Anyway.
Yeah.
Eugene puts in 500 rubles. Q would be fine for the end of the Picard series. Picard dies, but is met by the very familiar figure waiting for him. Oh, he's already died once, and Q is like the universe is not that poorly designed.
I could almost buy that though, because then Q could be like, or is it really the end? What do you want about Q? Am I dead or am I not? Well, some say death is just the beginning. It's like, what does that mean? And it fades to white. I don't know. Or sidestep. Wouldn't it be interesting if John Delancey came in as a different character, and Picard thinks it's Q because maybe Q based the face off someone, like in Terminator 3, there's the deleted scene of they talk about how they designed the first Terminator, and they base it on a guy, just a very good athlete who's running on a treadmill, and it's like, oh, it's a perfect specimen, and then the guy says, oh, but the voice, I don't know what the voice should be, and then the general says something in Arnie's voice, and it's like, oh, that's the voice, so it's a general's voice with the guy's body, kind of like this is who Terminator was based on, so you can always have this is whoever it's based on. Speaking of, though, having Louis Zimmerman is a perfect choice. Because he can age. He's a dick. He's an interesting dick. He's got a lot of, he might have been the hologram. If you want to talk about, rights.
And speaking of dicks and holograms, what about Andy Dick?
Yes. Oh, that would be genius.
Would it, though?
No.
No.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that. That makes me so happy. On the Prometheus as well. That's great. He'd do that in a heartbeat, I bet. It's like, really, you want to come back after 15 years to be my same holographic self? What? That's great. Oh, he looked so young with such a big head of hair. Oh, that's so sad. And there's Rob Picard with no hair. Or, top hair. That's
hilarious. Yeah. Howrats96 puts in $5, so thank you very much, Howrats. Picked Ro because she left on bad terms with Picard. Maybe she's Section 31 now. It is rumored they may have caused the Romulan star to go nova. I don't need more Section 31. Section 31 out. There's also rumors that they made Praxis explode with the same bomb that was in Kronos. Yeah, so don't need it.
You should
it's
not.
Too much Section 31. It's like having too much sugar in your coffee. It's still drinkable, but barely, and it's getting that way with Section 31. Sorry.
If you make humans responsible for everything, you devalue everything. Oh, look, we're the ones that started the Borg. Oh, look, we're the ones that started the galaxy's humanoid life. Oh, look, we're the ones that invented cloaks. Oh, look, it's just, no, stop.
Oh, look, we're actually the preservers, and we spread the seed of all the species in the universe.
Oh, Iconians. That was secretly Michael Burnham went back once they became the Iconians. It's like, no, stop, no. Make it be someone else. Like, there's limitations. Yeah. You're right. Because also, Section 31 Discovery was also poorly done. It wasn't a secret. It wasn't whatever. It was too advanced, but not too advanced. Because, Stuart, if it was advanced as it should have been, and was, how do they not destroy the Enterprise and Discovery after 1 minute to be completely outnumbered? So clearly it wasn't very advanced. Just... No.
Yeah. Fleet Pass Swiftback puts in $1.99 and says, how about Admiral Elena Nechayev?
Yeah, Nechayev.
Yeah, Natalie Nagalush.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, I've met the actress. She's lovely. I actually went to lunch with her once. We were at only time in Vegas, and Dad got talking to her. Obviously, had a connection, and they were like, "Do you want to invite her out to lunch?" And we all had lunch with the Admiral. That was
Nice.
great.
Yeah. Nice.
That was great.
I could not have her again. That'd be fine though. But you know the actress, so that's cool.
Yeah, she's nice. Okay, let me throw out another one then of my pictures. Who else do I have? Let's see. Who haven't we talked about? Oh yes, this one. Do you think this famous, well-known actress should be in the Picard show? Is this, in fact, the only actress that should be in the Picard show? Really? Who do you think I'm talking about?
I have no idea, considering the last female you threw on the screen.
I mean, this one I think we can all agree needs to be in Picard show. It's obviously where they're going.
Tilly?
It's obviously the context.
Tilly. I'm still waiting for the picture because it's the delayed feed. Dun, dun, dun. No. Michael Burnham. No.
I mean, she's the hero of the universe.
I could see them doing it though, with who's in charge, and please no.
Or maybe they need the time suit, so they look at old logs and somehow somehow Michael Burnham had time to record 20 logs of how to use a time suit, and she's talking to Picard. No. Trying to throw that in there, Stuart, as a possible. Well, I feel like they'll probably mention her. You know.
Oh, I hope
Or
they
maybe
don't.
there is the tradition, as we know, of one show leading on to the next. So logically, theoretically, Discovery needs to sign off with Picard. So what might that be? And Michael Burnham's the god of that universe. So is it is it a message from Michael Burnham? I mean, can be cool if there's like a Pike recording. Like, because someone needs to do it, or would there be a DS9 cameo, or is the fact that Picard's in it enough to count as a whatever? Or is the first scene of the Picard show Riker, and he's the one to sign off into the new show, which would be kind of fun. Like, the first thing is him drinking with Riker. It's like, I'm sorry, John Luke, I'm sorry everyone you ever know died except me. Sucks to be you. It's like, yes, but the wine is amazing. Oh no, Jonathan Patterson. Secretly, the Picard show Discovery Season 3 all along. Okay, here's a serious one. No, not a serious one. What, this actor?
Again, I gotta wait.
Yes. Does that have any reason to be in? Would he be forcing it? Is this something that you think would naturally fit? I think there is some merit to the character in general.
I'm still waiting, and I see Burnham. Odo, yes, Odo would definitely be welcome back. I think that'd be fantastic, actually. Yeah, so many possibilities with him and the makeup again too. Easy to make him look as he should. Of course, he would have learned the better techniques being in the Great Links. He could look exactly like Renee Avanoir looks in real life.
Yeah,
he perfected the noses and the ears and things.
Well, we saw him do that in one episode, and it was actually quite fun. So it'd be a good hybrid, and obviously now you have even better ways of make-upping. So if you want to talk about it'd be again equally fun. It would make sense he's still head of the Dominion. That would make sense. I can see him being a hugely important reformer, although him being linked with them has changed him as a person. That's fine. And again, wouldn't it be fun if first scene is him coming out the wormhole in a ship, hailing DS9 saying, you know, there's something coming. Dum dum dum. Yes.
Something this way comes. Bum, bum, bum. Fleet Pass Swiftback, but it's in $1.99. Thank you. Jeffrey Combs as a descendant of Shran. That works. It's got such a distinctive voice and style, though. It's like, yeah.
Well, the fact that he was like 8 characters means he's distinctive enough, but yet can be different enough.
No, I agree.
Honestly,
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing an Andorian regular. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Although I just love to see Wayoon again. I'd be totally down to see Wayoon, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, legit, he was a good enough character.
Yeah.
I mean, why not, you know? Old Wayoon clone? Why the hell not? But again, it's one of those legacy things. But I think anyone in makeup, I mean, now got a Quark, you know, same thing. In the makeup, he'll do it for enough money, why wouldn't you? You have an instant...
Well, he's a Ferengi, so...
Yeah. Nice. And he still fits into his costumes. That was part of the job. He actually literally wore his old costume. He fit.
Wow.
20 years, he fit his old head, fits his old costume. Literally, he was Quark on stage, so he could literally walk on set tomorrow. I saw it happen on stage. Quite far away, to be fair. So didn't really get a good look, but I found the photo shoots and I was like, oh my god, it's so good. So he could just walk onto the show and would that hold some extra value? Because he did also sign off Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
So if he came on, because then no time would have passed. Although, would you want no time passed character next to a time had passed character like Picard? Would you want a fellow time has passed character?
No, I'd like to see one that, yeah, no time has passed. You know, I think that'd be fantastic. That'd be a great crossover.
Speaking of this character, now,
Well,
I mean, this one. Be honest though. Do you think
Well,
they
I gotta
should
wait.
be in? I know you do. But part of it is having the reaction, obviously. Do you think this character, guys, tune in the comments. Do you think that this one needs to be in the Picard show?
Yes. 1,000 times yes. And he should have his own talk show. The Federation something, and it's broadcast on big screens all around the city. And Picard has to hear his voice. Oh, I'm so sick of that man's voice. He never shuts up.
But always cuts to the end of the broadcast, so you never hear it.
Yeah.
Would it be great though if he was just, in Futurama, there's the Hypnotoad. He's just Hypnotoad the whole time. He's been talking the entire time, just in our minds.
Yeah. Well, Eugene puts in 500 rubles and says, Jeffrey Combs as anyone or anything. That works every time. I totally agree with that entire statement. Jeffrey Combs is fantastic.
This is true. Although Cara Thrice says, shapeshift is not going to be popular around Earth parts. 25 years, I mean...
Yeah, they'll be fine.
They'll be fine. By that same logic, you couldn't have Klingons. I mean, obviously it's not exactly the same level of destruction. Or Cardassians. Are you saying Cardassians aren't allowed? Or Breen,
the Breens are the one that kicked the shit out of Earth.
Yeah, actually.
If anything, it would be the Breen that wouldn't be welcome.
I mean, we know that Klingons were never bold enough to attack Earth directly.
Or were they? Because they were so close in something called Discovery.
Speaking of Discovery, do you think Jake... Is there any role for Jake Sisko to come back? As a reporter of some kind? Because he's younger, he can do more... You know, the middle of his life, lost his dad, there's a lot of possible character stuff there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that would work. Closest we could get to Cisco. And I would be down with that. An older reporter, yeah.
And it'd be fun to see the civilian side of it all, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's what, from what we've heard, rumors and whisperings, that this is what it's going to be. It's not going to be Starfleet-centric, this show. It's going to be more either civilian life or just not Starfleet.
At least at the start, anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get there at the end. Next person, 7 of 9. I mean, I think value added. She's one of the ones that has a huge amount of value add.
She got twice the amount of value added as far as being huge. But yeah, she would definitely be welcome back. Her character would be really good, actually. Seeing where that went exactly with her, because she was one that didn't want to go back to Earth. She didn't remember Earth. She wasn't as eager as the rest of Voyager crew to get back. So it'll be interesting to see where she comes on board, and her Borgness combined with Picard and Locutus, that kind of relationship would be interesting. Yeah, I would love to see her back. I'd love to see her back in some capacity. Yeah.
And yeah,
I would be down.
She's one of the few that could really, really connect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I mean, there's so much potential with just any Borg. I mean, if you want a Borg connection, Borg connection, have 7 of 9. I could see her easily being, head of Starfleet Sciences. Unique perspective, unique ability to retain data. I mean, again, if this was a very canon-heavy thing, you'd want, how fun would it be to have scenes with her and Data? I mean, some of the two smartest people in terms of enhanced abilities, and they're both still not quite understanding stuff. And if you throw Tuvok in as well, that's N2 Voyager. What would be a good DS9 counter to that? So you have one of each. What would be the fun equivalent? Barclay, maybe?
No. God, no. I'm tempted to say O'Brien, but not really.
No. Well, I guess the
Garrett.
Doctor. Well, yeah. But
Bashir would be good. Bashir would be good.
Because he's genetically engineered brain.
Genetically enhanced, yeah.
She's Borg enhanced and Data's Data. Although we did obviously see Bashir with Data in the original one, but he was still not genetically modified Bashir. He was still interesting Bashir rather than boring Bashir.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for me, Bashir has a switch. As soon as they find out his acting goes from great to who the hell cares. The character takes a massive nosedive for me. Just like, oh, that was the end of your character. Cool. What a waste.
Kind of, yeah. That being said, you know what? You and I are very similar to Miles and Bashir.
We would go do historical simulations together, just be like future
Well,
ones.
we could cosplay as them and pull it off, I think, as well. You got the tall, lanky,
okay.
British smugness,
okay.
and I got the Irish, a little bit of pot belly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
There's this physical similarity as well as an actual or friendship similarity. Yeah. So we are Bashir and O'Brien, everyone.
Not a million miles. I like it.
Not in a million miles.
No, I mean not a million miles away from. Oh, this is. We've got 7 minutes left. Unless you guys super chat the hell out of this, I want to throw in Morale Paris because her limited Endgame appearance was, I thought, reasonably interesting, and as a in terms of interesting character, you could do a lot with that character potential. Anyway, what do you think?
Yes. Now we're talking their kid?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, okay. I thought you were talking about Admiral Paris for a second. I'm like, what? Yeah, I mean, there's so much potential for any of the offspring of any of these people to really step up for this show. You could have a new Picard. You could have a new anybody, really, joining the ranks of Starfleet. A new O'Brien.
Yeah. Crusher's son, and then it's revealed all along that Crusher's actually Picard's son. Now he's got a grandson in Crusher's son, as in Wesley Crusher's son. He can be really confusing. It's like, Wesley, you had a son. You called him Jean-Luc? Oh, God damn it.
What, did he mate with the Traveler?
No.
Oh.
They went on a date with the girl that blew him off and left the ship. They were always meant to be. Her rules for the day, or whatever it was. But I like the fact that how oh, sorry, what did you say?
I was gonna say he had a relationship with that shapeshifter chick, and they have like a shapeshifter baby.
Shapeshifter chick?
Yeah, remember she came aboard in season 2 or 3, and he was like, and then
was that a thing?
Yeah, the shapeshifter chick. She had a guardian who turned into a big teddy bear. Yeah.
Oh yeah. She was when she was the younger girl.
And she saw her true appearance when she was beaming off the ship. Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking of the lady that plays Jean Grey in X-Men, because she also came aboard and was all like, "Ooh, I'm a thing."
Oh, the metamorph. Yeah, that's for Picard. Ooh, she should come back.
But you're right. Yeah, the shapeshifter. That's yeah. But I think morale specifically is interesting because just like because you see her in Endgame as being in this unique position, you know. So we know that she's very qualified, very capable, very interesting, very trusted. You know, there's a certain context there that I like.
Well, Leon Cranston puts in $1.99 and says we should see Grand Admiral Spot the cat.
Oh dear. Yes, I agree. Or what about the fish? Are they double Grand Admirals? Because you know they've dealt. I mean, they had several crashes in their time. You know.
How about the fish spliced to the cat to make a fat or a quiche? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if you guys have any more super chats, we're going to be closing out soon, so any more would be welcome. But I really want to thank everybody for showing up. We had about 250 people this whole time. I'm not sure where the likes are sitting right now.
169.
We can get into 175. Come on, guys. 6 people hit like that haven't hit liked already.
Yeah. We're still 255 watching. We had 280 at one point. Yeah, guys, can we get 200 likes? I mean, if we can. We had a really good super chat. Obviously, the 50 and the 30 really help. We're not doing another one this week because Stuart is away conventioning, and I'm going away on Friday for anniversary weekend, and also doing a convention as well. But just as an attendee / getting prints, that'd be fun.
We're both going to be busy for 2 weeks, is what he's saying.
Yes. Am I saying that?
Yes. So I'm leaving tomorrow and come back Monday. Then you're leaving
Friday.
On Friday. Come back on Monday for next weekend. So we're going to be busy.
But then we'll have the week, and then I'll be away again on Friday, and then back on Monday again, actually, for FedCon.
Yes. That's what I said.
And that'd be fun.
Fleet Paw Swiftback put in $4.99. What about Phlox? Denolians are extremely long-lived. Hey, I would love to see Phlox back. I really liked Phlox. He was one of my favorite characters for sure. One of the doctors I would want to be taking care of me, except for the leeches and stuff. Get that shit off me. But overall, he was a very friendly fellow, and I like Phlox. Although he would have to be extremely long-lived for that.
I mean, that would be one of the most long-lived characters possible. But I mean, he did have like 7 wives, so you can imagine that they have a very intricate system of life. You know. Yeah, possibly. Sure.
Molly O'Brien, no.
And good old gamer says, shouldn't the Paris kid have less prom ridges since she's only 1/4 Klingon? Not necessarily. I mean, it's not just losing 25% each time. It's, you know.
Yeah, genetics is a crapshoot. You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And the ridges are pretty prominent feature on Klingons, except for certain Klingons, and which shall not be mentioned. So yeah, it's something that would definitely be present for sure.
And besides, they do. I remember she does try and remove the ridges, from the pre-baby,
and it causes problems.
Yeah, because they say because there's a whole episode about it. It says, "Wow, that many ridges." It's like, yeah, it's like it passes to the mum genes especially. But yeah, guys, thanks so much. We will join you again next week. For definitely TNG review, probably more than one live because they're really cool. Stuart, I'm sure will do stuff on at FedCon. I'll definitely do a live on at FedCon. I'm sure you're gonna do something.
Wonderfest.
No, I'm at FedCon. I'll do something. I'm sure you'll do something when I'm at FedCon. Any other weekend, and I'll do something as well at FedCon. Or maybe we can even time it together so you can be with the other chap. Could be kind of fun. Who knows? And then I'm sure you'll do something from Wonderfest itself. And I'm sure I'll be able to tune in for that maybe. Hopefully, just randomly catch it at the right time as long as you put it on public.
I will this time.
Thank you.
Jeff Jacobs puts in $3 and says, "I'm sure we will get to 200. # Jeff paid."
It's true.
Thank you, Jeff.
8 away. Come on, 225 still watching. Please do click that like button. We want to get to 200. We've got 1 minute to the end. Can we get to 200? 200. 200. And yes, guys, so I'm doing FedCon in Germany June the 7th to the 10th. in Bonn, Germany. It's the biggest European convention of its kind. There's some great Star Trek, Babylon 5 actors going. I'll be there all the days. I'm even going to be seeing Tobias Richter both at the event. I'm crossing my fingers. I'll go to his studio and go to the Lightworks and take some maybe some clips there, depending how we all feel. I'm excited to see the Lightworks. I mean, the Lightworks is, you know, famous and infamous, you know, amazing for what they do, both original fan films and then with other stuff. Just a really talented group of people, and obviously we're good fans, friends with Tobias, good guy. And then I'll get some cool prints at FedCon for you all. I might try and interview the 2 actors from Discovery, Pike and Spock, but I doubt they'll be allowing interviews. Not them, obviously, but CBS, because, you know. But who knows? And just a good old time had by all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this time tomorrow, I will be in Louisville, Kentucky. So if you guys are attending Wonderfest and you're staying at the Crown Plaza, I'll be wandering around the halls from Thursday right through to Monday. So if you see me, say hi, and don't be shy.
Me too. And if you see us later on in the year, guys, do come say hi. We are the sorts that would like people to say hi. You know, we know a lot of people know about Trekyards, even if we don't get thousands, 10,000 people watching each week. But people know about us and like us. I think we have a good reputation. So if people want to come say hi, do. Even if out in the streets or whatever, please do say hi. It's nice. We get so infrequently, obviously in the real world, that it's nice if it happens. I know you've been recognised at cinemas before, and I've been at bars, which is confusing as hell, but nice. Like, it's a nice surprise.
Yeah,
for sure. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Any final words, Stuart?
No, just looking forward to having a good time at Wonderfest, and I'll have some great footage for you guys after the fact, and some lives while I'm there. So stay tuned to the channel.
Awesome sauce. So until next time, guys, I am Captain Foley.
Threw me off for a second there, and I am Commander Cockings.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.